What up, guys? Back again with another UFC fight picks video on the UFC 219 card, Cyborg versus Holm. Let's go ahead and get started here. We got 10 fights on the whole card, so it's actually a very small card. Only one fight pass fight, and only 4 FS1 prelims fights. So yeah, it's only 10 fights, so that kind of sucks. Some fights got canceled or whatever, but let's go ahead and get started here with these picks. So first fight of the night, and the only fight on the fight pass prelims, is Tim Elliott versus Mark Dolorosa. So let's go ahead and just open up their pages here real quick. I don't think they got any info on Mark here. This guy's making his UFC debut. I thought he was a flyweight, but he's actually a bantamweight. And yeah, Tim Elliott's moving up to 135 for this fight. Obviously, Tim Elliott flyweight, and he's coming off a loss against Ben Nguyen. Before that, he beat Louis Smolka, and then of course he lost against Demetrius Johnson. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take the undefeated fighter here, Mark Dolorosa. He's 9-0. Has good boxing. Apparently, he has some submissions there on his record. So obviously, he can also choke you out. But yeah, he has really good boxing, and I think his stand-up here will win the fight. And if obviously Elliott's gonna want to take him to the ground, and I think obviously he's gonna try to go for that. I think Dolorosa's taking the fence. Should be able to hold up, and if it doesn't, I think Dolorosa could threaten with those submissions, maybe a guillotine or something like that. But Elliott is really good, on the ground when he has you there. He's a really good scrambler on the ground. So I really think Dolorosa here is going to have to take advantage that, he's the, I want to say the bigger fighter, because, he's the one that usually fights at 135 compared to Elliott, who fights at 125. So I think he got to take advantage of that. And, he got to, set that pace right away, keep the fight standing, use that really good boxing, use that jab, and just beat up Tim Elliott on the feet, which I think is something that that he could do, because Elliott primarily just kind of relies on the that wrestling, the takedown game, the scrambles on the ground. That's primarily how he wins his fights. His stand-ups not that great. It's all right, but it's not that great. So yeah, on the feet for sure. Dolorosa here chews him up. On the ground, we're just gonna have to wait and see. But I think Dolorosa comes out here on top and makes a statement. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick Dolorosa to win by decision. So that's one underdog right there. All right, now for the next fight, we got Louis Smolka against Matthews Nicola. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick Matthews on this one. Louis Smolka's on like a 3-fight losing streak. This guy's weakness is pretty much just being on his back. He has good jiu-jitsu. He's a good grappler, and he's tall for the weight class. But I think when he's on his back, he just kind of just stays on his back the whole time. So you can't win the fight if you're on the ground the whole time like that, on your back. And I think Nicola here, he's more well-rounded. I think he probably has the better striking. I think he has a black belt also in jiu-jitsu, and his takedowns, well, in the UFC, I mean, he has a high accuracy there, 60%. And I think he's going to be able to just go ahead and do the same thing as, the last opponents that Smolka fought did. It's pretty much just, just take Smolka down, keep him down on the ground, beat him up, whatever. Because if we look, this guy, his last fight against Elliott, I mean, he just got routed in that fight. He got taken down 12 times in that fight. Against Raybor, he got taken down 4 times, and so on. So like I said, that's kind of how you could expose Smolka on the ground. Just take him down, keep him down there, and that's pretty much how you're going to win the fight. That guy never really gets up much. He tries to scramble, but doesn't really, get up much. So yeah, I just feel like Nicola also being the better, jiu-jitsu fighter is going to be able to win the fight. So I'll take Matthews, but I'm going to go ahead and say he wins by decision. All right, next fight, Vettori versus Omari Akhmetov. I'm going to go ahead and take Vettori on this one. First of all, he's a 185er. His opponent, Akhmetov here, last I checked, he was fighting at welterweight. So I guess this guy wanted to move up to 185. I guess, I don't know, maybe he can't make the cut to 170 anymore. We'll have to find out about that, I guess. Okay. Yeah, they marked him here already as 185. Yeah, his last fight against Razak Alhazan, that guy's a welterweight, and Noak's a welterweight. This guy got finished twice in the UFC by knockout. So yeah, recently this guy's been pretty much going to his wrestling to win his fights. He'll strike, and then he'll take you down and stuff. He'll just beat you on points. Vettori here, well, I mean, his summary, they're complete fighter. Yeah, he seems well rounded. His only loss in the UFC was to Antonio Carlos Jr. Before that, he beats Albert Uda in the first round by submission, and he also beats Vitor Miranda, who's a really good striker. Beats him by decision, takes him down in that fight. So yeah, I just feel like Vettori here, all he has to do is really just stuff the takedowns, and he should be able to outstrike Akhmetov on the feet. Akhmetov's chin also is a little bit suspect. I know he hasn't got knocked out in a while, but I think it's still suspect. I mean, he is moving up a weight class, so I think that kind of helps his chin a bit. And I'm not gonna say he's gonna be small for welterweight. I mean, for middleweight, but I do feel Vettori's gonna be the bigger fighter here. So I'm gonna go ahead and take Vettori on this one. Makes sense that he is the favorite there, negative 215. And you know what? I could see a knockout here, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick Vettori here to win by second round knockout. All right, next fight: Jury versus Rick Glen. I'm taking Rick Glen on this one. But first of all, Jury never really fights much nowadays. He's very inactive, very inconsistent. So that's obviously not good to see there, especially since he's still young. Look, he's already 29. It feels like when this guy barely started fighting, it felt like he was a lot younger. I mean, just look at that shit. 2012 in the UFC. Anyways, he's coming off a first round knockout win against Mike De La Torre, a low level fighter, whatever. He's kind of a bum. He beats him up. Before that, he loses to Oliveira in his featherweight debut, and then he loses to Cerrone at 155. So yeah, Rick Glen here, coming off a really good win against Gavin Tucker, a guy who everybody was kind of high on. This guy just completely destroys him on the ground, takes him down and smashes him. He lands a shit ton of strikes, 142 significant strikes. That's a shit ton of damage there. Really beat him up. Completely dominated that fight. Before that, he also beats a guy named Felipe Nover, and his UFC debut, he lost to Evan Dunham. So yeah, I feel like Rick Glen here can win the fight with his wrestling, his pace, his striking accuracy. I mean, his striking, what do you call it? What do you want to call it? Well, actually, it's just a strike. Like, he lands a lot of strikes, his volume, I mean. So I think his volume is going to help him win the fight here. Jury seems like he has some power. I mean, he is coming off a first round KO win, so he might pack a punch here. But I feel like Rick Glen here could get past that, go to that wrestling, and also do some damage on that on the feet or whatever. Jury is a favorite, but I'm gonna go ahead and take Glen on this one. I think he get it done. So yeah, I'll take Glen to win by decision. Alright, now featured fight on FS1 prelims. We got Khalil Roundtree Jr. versus Michal Alexiak. I don't know, something like that. Anyways, I'm picking Roundtree on this one. Michal's making his UFC debut. Haven't really heard too much good things about him. I know he has power just looking at his stats there, but I'm going to go ahead and just take Roundtree. He's confident right now. He's knocking people out. He's also way more patient. Before, he would kind of just attack you very quickly, and then he would gas out, and then you would beat him by taking him down. But I think Michal, I don't think he has any wrestling or a wrestling background, but I could be wrong here. Actually, yeah, see, look at that summary. Durability and knockout power. I don't think I see anything here that... Yeah, I don't see anything about wrestling. So yeah, if you're not a wrestler, it's gonna be hard to beat Roundtree, man, because his stand-up is very good. He has really... Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Kind of cut off there a little bit. But yeah, pretty much like what I'm saying. Roundtree, if you don't got really good wrestling, it's gonna be hard to beat him. I mean, he has really good power, got that striking. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take Roundtree. Michao could potentially maybe land the clean shot, maybe hurt or knock out Roundtree, but I don't see it happening. I see Roundtree coming out here on top. He's a negative 320 favorite, so a lot of people are picking him. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pick Roundtree, and I say he gets it done in the first round. So first round KO. All right, now we're on to the main card, guys. We got Carlos Condit versus Neil Magny. Condit finally making his return, I think, from his last loss against Damian Maia, and he's facing a top 15 guy here, pretty much a top 10 guy, Neil Magny. So let's go ahead and open up Carlos's page here. But I mean, we kind of already know how this guy fights. Yeah, see, so it's been pretty much like a year and a half for Carlos Condit. Lost in the first round by submission against Maia. Before that, he loses a split decision against Robbie Lawler, in which a lot of people thought, that he won the fight. Magny, though, obviously this guy, he's very tall for the weight class, got a lot of reach, and has really good wrestling. He's coming off a loss in the first round to Dos Anjos. He got tapped out in the first round. His last win was against Johnny Hendricks, but I mean, Hendricks is, well, he's kind of a bum nowadays, so I mean, yeah, that kind of just says it, right? So yeah, and then before that, he actually gets knocked out in the first round against Lawrence Larkin. Larkin just pretty much smashed him. So pretty much what we know about Magny is, if you're a really good striker, you can knock him out. If you could stuff the takedowns, if you have really good takedown defense and you have really good striking and power, you can take him out there. You can take him out of there early, just like Larkins did. So Condit, he has power. He has really good striking. I don't think he's a power puncher like Larkin is, but he still got power. He's more of a volume, like a multi-kickboxer style. His takedown defense, though, is a little bit questionable. Doesn't look good on paper. So hopefully he improved his takedown defense, or at least his jiu-jitsu or something, to kind of help him get back on his feet. Because if Magny is able to keep him down and take him down easily, it's gonna be an easy win for Magny. But I'm gonna go ahead and say Condit here, comes back here and gets a win. I think he's gonna be able to TKO Neil Magny here in this fight. I mean, for sure, he's the way better striker, and yeah, I think he's gonna be able to do some damage. I think all he has to do is just kind of stuff those takedowns or avoid the clinch or the takedowns, and just keep it on the outside, do that damage, and get that knockout. So I'm picking Condit, and I think it's gonna be probably like a third round knockout. All right, next fight, Calvillo against Carla Esparza. So another quick pick. I'm gonna go ahead and pick Cynthia here in this matchup. First of all, she's undefeated. No one's been able to beat her. That Calderwood fight was a little bit iffy, but whatever. Her opponent, Esparza, is kind of similar to her, as in both of them are really good grapplers. Of course, I would say Esparza probably does have the wrestling advantage, but she's also the smaller fighter, has less reach, and I also feel like Calvillo will have the striking advantage. So one of them is a little bit better than the other, in one spot. Like I'm pretty much saying, Cynthia probably has the better stand-up, and Carla probably has the better wrestling. But both of them, have similar skill sets. But I think it's gonna be hard for Esparza, to take down Calvillo because, well, first of all, she has good wrestling herself, but it's that submission threat. She's able to get submissions, and man, she gets them quick. So Esparza, if she's gonna want to take it to the ground, which I'm pretty sure she is, that's kind of like her path to victory, pretty much in most of her fights. She could get caught with some sort of submission. So that's why I like Calvillo in this matchup. It makes sense that she is the favorite. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pick her. And I don't know, maybe we could see Esparza get stopped here by Shreks again. You never know. Pretty sure Calvillo's probably just worked this camp on takedown defense and just her striking. Esparza, her striking's not that good. So yeah, I'll pick Calvillo. And you know what? I'm going to just say Calvillo wins by decision, but you never know. She could bust out some late finish. by submission or knockout. So yeah, Calvillo by decision. Next fight, Dan Hooker versus Mark Diakise. I'm gonna go ahead and pick Mark Diakise in this matchup. It's coming off a loss, a split decision loss, to what was his name? Dracker. Yeah, Dracker Close. Whatever. He lost by split decision. I heard he was injured or something like that, but I'm not too sure. Anyways, close fight. But now he's gonna fight Dan Hooker here, who's coming off a good performance against Ross Pearson, in which he got a knockout win there in the second round. So yeah, Dan Hooker's primarily just a striker. Likes to keep it on the feet. He was at 145, now he's at 155. So I think that kind of helps Diakise here, since I want to say he's probably the stronger fighter here out of the two. Even though Hooker actually has fought a heavyweight before, according to his profile there. So yeah, I think Mark here does get some benefit that Hooker is coming up a weight class. So I expect Mark to be the stronger fighter. But pretty much the main reason I'm picking Diakise to win is he's gonna have that wrestling. You guys can see there the grappling stats: 3.36 takedown average and 45% takedown accuracy. And Hooker, his takedown defense looks good there on paper, but I mean, I don't think it's that great. I think Diakise here will strike with him on the feet, and on the feet, I mean, Diakise is not like a bum on the feet. He has really good striking. He's explosive, and he's creative on the feet. He got a lot of knockouts, like highlight reel knockouts. So I feel like Diakise is going to use that striking, and if for some reason Hooker's getting the better of him on the feet, he's going to go ahead and go to that wrestling, and that's going to be able to win those rounds, and pretty much get those points to win the fight by decision, kind of like how we showed in, let me see which fight it was. Who was it? Oh yeah, this guy right here, Frankie Perez. Pretty much how he showed in that fight. You guys can see he didn't really strike with him. He took him down 6 times, and yeah, he just won by decision. So we know Diakise, could go to his wrestling, even though he's primarily a striker. So yeah, that's how I see him winning. So I'll take Diakise by decision. All right, guys. Now we're on to the co-main event. We got Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Edson Barboza. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick another sleeper. I'm picking Barboza, guys. Yeah, I mean, explosive, way better striker. All he has to do is avoid the takedowns, and that's obviously easier said than done. Khabib, just look at that takedown average and look at that takedown accuracy, man. Khabib's just relentless with those takedowns, and when he has you on the ground, he just punishes you on the ground with heavy ground and pound, and could also work for submissions like how he did in that Michael Johnson fight. But I feel like Barboza here, I mean, he has 5 inches of reach. I think he's gonna be able to keep that distance. Use those low kicks, very low kicks, so so Khabib can't take him down, or maybe just throw the jab out there or whatever. And he's just gonna pretty much wait for his timing, to kind of get that knee on Khabib's chin, kind of like how he did to Beneil Dariush. I mean, we see how explosive Barboza is. He's still explosive. He's still fast. And we know he could catch him. So I'm going to go ahead and take Barboza. Obviously, the safe pick here is Khabib. I know most of you guys probably going to pick Khabib. And, on DraftKings, I probably will pick both. But Barboza, he's a very good value play, because either he's going to get smoked on the ground, or he catches Khabib and knocks him out. So that's pretty much how the fight is going to go, guys. There's no way Khabib's going to stand up with him for too long, even though Barboza supposedly kind of has like a suspect chin. But yeah, it's pretty much, striker versus grappler, and I'm going to pick the striker here. Plus, I'm a big fan of Barboza. Really like his striking style. So yeah, I'll pick Barboza, and I'm going to go ahead and say he catches him in the second round. So Barboza, second round knockout with that fucking knee. Alright, guys, now we're on to the main event. We got Cris Cyborg versus Holm. Yeah, another quick pick here on this one. I'm going to go ahead and pick the favorite, though. I'm picking Cris Cyborg. I mean, obviously, Cyborg just, demolishes everybody that she faces, pretty much. She has only 1 loss, and that's like a long time ago, over 10 years ago, probably. And yeah, Holly Holm, you know, obviously this is like, I want to say, her biggest challenge to date, you know, for Cris Cyborg. I mean, Holly Holm, really good boxer, good kickboxer also, you know, just a really solid striker with excellent footwork. Also has knockout power with those head kicks. So, you know, it's a good matchup here. We got a good matchup. But I just feel like Cyborg's going to be too much, man. I mean, it's really hard to bet against Cyborg when she just demolishes everybody. The last girl I seen beat her was Jarena Bars in that lion fight multi fight. And yeah, I mean, that girl dropped her, hurt her, and everything, and still didn't knock her out or finish her. So we know Cyborg's tough. We know she could take it. I mean, I hope she tightened up that defense, because I know Holly Holm's going to be trying to throw those head kicks. But yeah, I mean, Holly Holm does have a path to victory if she's, you know, able to land that head kick, or just use that footwork and that movement to just kind of outstrike Cyborg, you know, just stay on the outside and stuff like that. Just kind of outpoint her from the outside. But I feel like, I mean, Cyborg's just going to run at her, close the distance, land those shots, and eventually one's going to hurt Holly Holm, and she's going to go down. So it's kind of just like, that's kind of how, you know, Cyborg just beats people up. So I think that's what's going to happen. You never know, if for some reason Holm actually does do some damage, Cyborg could use her grappling skills, and we know she has a black belt, I'm pretty sure, in jiu-jitsu. So yeah, I mean, if she does get hurt, she got the grappling advantage also. So yeah, I'm going and pick Cyborg. Very confident pick. On DraftKings though, if you guys play DraftKings, I probably will throw Holly Holm on the lineup, because obviously very good value on her. You never know. You know, this is MMA. You never know what happens. But yeah, yeah, pretty confident Cyborg gets the win, and probably another knockout or another finish, probably in the third round. So I'm picking Cyborg, third round knockout. All right, guys, that does it for me for my picks. Let me just go give you my confident picks here. So most confident pick obviously would have to be Cyborg. Next would have to be Carlos Condit and Khalil Roundtree Jr. So those are my top three most confident picks. Least confident pick would have to be let's see. I don't know, maybe this guy, Mark Dolorosa. Maybe he ends up just getting taken down by Elliott, controlled, whatever, loses the fight. Or maybe Barboza, like I said, maybe he just gets starched on the ground by Khabib. So I guess those will be my least confident picks there. But yeah, overall, feel like, I mean, it's only 10 fights here. Overall, I feel like I could at least go you know, 50-50 here. At least 5 out of 10. But hopefully I'll do a lot better than that. You know, hopefully get that 10 out of 10, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for the picks. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support for you guys who watch the videos. And yeah, that's going to be it, guys. So enjoy the fights. And yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one.